I guess my next question then, with that in mind, do you have a particular mindset or framework that you use to, I guess, identify what it is that we need to do, the one thing, the 80/20, and kind of, I guess, not let that discourage me, knowing that I'm now not going to be doing all these other things that I had in mind?
Yeah, awesome question. So you've got the potential right now to make it a success in any of these areas, and it can feel really negative to try and consider giving up one of them, to say no to one of them. But when you say no to an opportunity, or to a person, or to anything, you actually say yes to the most important thing. So it's kind of like what me and Stuart were talking about. You must enter this season where there's this one thing that you're going to make a success. As soon as you add two things to that, you're going to make less than 30% progress in each one. Like it's not even going to be 50-50, because you just lose some exponential gains. When your mind is only focused on one, you get way more thoughts than everyone else. You get way more shower thoughts and ideas and brainstorms. You have more dreams about it and everything. So you get exponential gains on the one thing. As soon as you add two, it's not that it goes 50-50. It goes like 30-30, and you've just lost 40. And you add three, and it's not that it goes 33-33. It's more like you just have 15 in each, and you're not making that into a success at that point. So just understand that. What I would tell you is the vehicle to choose should be the one that you could imagine doing for the rest of your life, with the intellect that you'll probably do it for a few years. So that my interpretation of that is like, don't do the thing just because it's probably more likely to get you the results right now, because then you won't get the results. Just if you're doing it for the results, right? Do the thing because you actually like the vehicle, because you actually really like that vehicle. Just intrinsically, you find it fun. So for example, I was writing ebooks, I was drop shipping, I wanted to learn how to be a rapper and everything. I was trying all these different things, and it just hit me one time when I thought, I'm only looking at the positives of each thing that I'm considering. So for you're looking at the positives of the YouTube channel, of the book, and all these things. You need to see the problems and the negatives of all the vehicles you could get into. Which one's problems do you actually want to have in your life?
Yeah, that's very interesting. Thank you. I haven't considered that at all, because I guess I have been really immersed in that shiny object syndrome, just looking at the shiny part but not the other side. So thank you.
There is a quote from the Way of the Superior Man. I hope you don't take it as an offense, but he talks about living at your edge, and he says this sentence: a man should not pretend that he is more enlightened than he actually is. And I've messed that up a bunch of times, and I see a little bit of that in you. Like, you've got a great understanding of purpose layers, but you should almost have this humble mindset towards it of like, don't tell a young man I don't really know anything. Just because you can end up with this like young man's conviction, you can end up pursuing a journey and waste like months or years of your life, and then you look back and you think, wait, like, how did I end up here? Like it becomes clear as you develop in your journey. So I would always question, because this is like a high leverage activity, to like question the goal and the purpose that you're currently on. And it's a bit of like, it's anticlimactic, so I'd love to just tell you, Vladimir, like, do all of them, bro, let's work 20 hours a day, this is awesome, you're gonna change the world. That would sound awesome, and you'd probably like me more if I said that to you. But I do want to set you on the kind of direction I would set my younger self, which was, I would just tell him like, okay, well, and you're getting on a dopamine detox, so this is perfect. Shut everything off. No technology, no nothing, a pen and a piece of paper, and just write and question everything. Question everything till your fingers hurt, and then keep going and keep going and keep going. Write 20, 50 pages, and then you'll know what your current purpose layer will be. And try not to act more enlightened than you actually are, because you're barely 1% into this journey right now.
Yep. Thanks for that. In that case, I'll definitely go do that advice that you said, and can continue to contemplate this with a more open mind. And you also mentioned that in the past you had all these different interests, and you thought, I guess we need to do them all. And I really resonated with that, because looking back at my own life, I had so many different things that I guess you could say were my purpose layers, and they were completely unrelated to what I'm doing now. So I was into music production, and then I went into filmmaking, and before all of that I wanted to be a cosmonaut, but this is like when I was like 13 years old. So, and then I got to this point, and I've noticed that every time I'm at those areas where I was into music, was into filmmaking, now I'm into this, I never opened my mind to the possibility that I want to do anything else. Or like, I could imagine it, but I didn't want to accept it. And I just thought, no, I have to just do this. There can't be any other way. And in the end, it did change. So, yeah, it's interesting.
It changing is the natural sign of you going through like manhood and peeling back each layer. It certainly will change every now and then. It's just, I kind of like spotted it as you were describing that. You kind of, as soon as I heard you say, oh, you know the core purpose, and you know every purpose or most purpose layers and stuff, that quote came into my mind, and I was like, is he really, really enlightened? Or maybe perhaps is he mixing like shiny object syndrome with your purpose layers? I'd say right now, I don't know you enough, but if I had to guess, your current purpose layer is like Empire of Man, making this group take over the world, get to whatever goal seems reasonable to you. And the goal obviously isn't actually the purpose, but it's just kind of like the quantitative metric. But that's like the purpose, that's like the big mission right now, that's the desire, it seems like. And then inside of that, the way to actually make this a success, the work that you've got to do, the best way is just pick the one vehicle. So it's not like the vehicle is the purpose layer, it's not the YouTube channel is not the purpose layer, like the mission is. And so at that point, I would just pick through the vehicles and just think which one you would be best at, which one you would actually be able to grow. And then I would say no to every other one.